Hi, I'm taking Paul McWhorter's AI for Everyone class, and we're on lesson 13. And this this is my homework for object recognition by color. So Paul gave us some homework to do. The first thing he said wanted us to do was try to figure out how to account for the reds that happen to fall on both sides of the 179, 180 border. Some of them are low numbers and some of them are high numbers in the red category. So had to do that. And then the second thing he wanted us to do was try to figure out how to track two colors. So took care of that and had a little bit of time left over. So I did some extra credit at the end as well. This might be a little bit long, so I apologize in advance. Let's get to the code. So first thing I did was pretty much just copied Paul's code from what he was doing. I did make one change to it. I really had a problem with all the function calls to different for each track bar. So I created a single function up here called handle TB for handle track bars. And basically all it does is sets a global variable to tell it to read the TBs. And then in the while true, the very first thing I do is if something's changed in the track bars, it just goes through and they have this one says get track bar position. And I just went in and read them all at one time and did it that way. I started out the way Paul was. I said, this doesn't work with my brain. So I did it something that made it work for my brain. So basically, this is just doing the exact same thing that Paul did. So we show that it does work. Basically, we got a green ball here. So green is going to be something like this. So you can see that this is my original, this is our mask, and this is where the object is put up there. So I can, as Paul says, I can copy and paste okay. So we'll get that taken out of. All right. So now on to his homework. The next thing we had to do was account for reds on both sides of the 179 border. So I thought about it and I said, well, the best way to do that is that on our track bars, to make it so we know what we're doing, that we want a red color, is to put it so that the minimum track bar is higher than the maximum track bar, which shouldn't happen in any other color or any other way, you know, if you're using it for any other color besides red colors. So I just made a conditional if statement that if the minimum is greater than the maximum, we're dealing with reds. So basically what I did with that is I made two masks, a top mask and a bottom mask, so that we basically are going from our minimum, which is going to be on the high end because we are high, all the way up to 79, and we're making a mask for that. And then the bottom mask, so we're going to set that max is actually going to be set low, so it's going to be at a low number, so it's going to go from 0 to a low number. And I got those, so that we got, and then just showing those. And then down here, we're doing a bitwise OR on them so that we're combining the two masks together, and we're just taking the top mask and bottom mask and adding all the white. So anything that's white on either one is going to be white on the combined mask over here. So we're doing that. If the track bars are swapped from their normal places, if they're normal on any other color, then we're just going to do our normal, same thing we always do, where we just go H-min, H-max and combine them. So basically that's all I did with it. Like I say, also showing the reds and everything so that we can see how that works out. So let's go ahead and see if this will run. I did it a little smaller, but you can see we haven't hit that if statement yet. So we're not really getting our color. So if we go with our normal way that we would do a red, we run this one all the way up and then run this one most of the way up. So now we're getting anything from 160 to 180 basically. You're getting a pretty good definition on it, but you're getting a little bit of flickering there where you're getting numbers on the other side of that line. So to grab those, I'm going to pull this back and we're going to do that. Now you can see that you got the top mask, and that seems to be where most of the red color is, but you got the bottom mask here. Let's close this up and get my face out a little bit. You can see we only act with this red, you only got a little bit of color. I've tried a lot of reds and I don't see a whole lot of definition down there, but you do see it that it's a little bit more, you got some blinking, pixels going black in here where they're not going on here. So I think that's the ones that are crossing the line. Probably a different red would make a difference, but this is this is the bottom, this is the top, this is the bottom, and this is where we combine them, and then supposedly I guess we're getting a little bit better object definition on this one because we're combining them. I was hoping to see more improvement in what we have with the reds, but I don't know, it's just definitely something there, but it's just adding a little bit to it. So I guess it's worth our while to do that, but don't see a whole lot of improvement doing that. All right, so we're back over, took care of that part. And then the next thing we had to do was try to detect two objects. Basically, I did something that I really don't like to do, and that's pretty much doubled up all the code so that we can pick two objects. I doubled up the track bars, doubled up the frames, and did everything. So basically, I did put the track bars in two different windows for each one and kind of set it underneath of the mask window for each one. You'll see when we turn it on. But basically, that's all we're doing, and we're pretty much coming down and doing the same thing that we did. Like I said, I got this, this is all the same code that we did, but then I have it all over again. And I just add a 2 basically at the end of all the variables to differentiate the two different colors. Same way up in the track bars, I did just add a 2 to all the other ones. And I'm wondering if there's an easier way of doing it, but I couldn't figure it out at this point. So basically we're doing similar thing to what we did with the red is that we're coming down here and we're bitwising our mask for the first color and the second color, bitwise OR, and coming up with a combined mask, and that's showing up. So show you what that looks like when it runs. All right, so I got my original color, my original video up here. This is the first mask, this is the second mask, and this is the resultant object. So I got this little red and blue thing here. So we'll work on the red first. So like I said, we're going to do the same thing we did here, and it's still using our both ways thing, but you can see we're pulling out all the red color in there. Let me calm this down, get a little bit of my face out. Okay, so basically getting some red out of this now. Now blue is about over here somewhere, so we can pull the blue out as well. So you can see this is taking the outside colors, the outside of the red and blue object. And this is taking the inside, the blue part. This is making the red part and the blue part. And then, like I said, that's mask 1, mask 2, and this is the combined mask. And then where it's added, the two are ORed together, so you're getting anything that's white on either one. And then you're trying to get it in. Got a little bit of my blue shirt showing a little bit down here too, and some of my face colors from the reddish color that we have. Probably get that out. Let's see, maybe that. Yeah, I got rid of my shirt colors. So anyhow, showing how to do 2 colors. So that was very interesting. All right, so now on to my extra credit. So I thought, man, it sure would be nice if we didn't have to use all these track bars and everything. So I decided to try to figure out how to be able to click with a mouse and tell it what color to do. So basically what I did is on a mouse click, I actually create a mouse frame, I guess is what you would call it, and each mouse click, and it's actually just a 1 pixel frame, and we pull the colors out of that. Of course, it's in BGR the first time, so we get it, we pull it out, and we make the frame at the position of the mouse. You have to, so that it knows it's a frame, you have to add position +1, but they ignore the second one. So you're actually only getting a 1 element frame. So by doing this, and then of course we don't want to work in BGR, so we have to do the conversion to HSV. So then you ended up with a 1 pixel frame in the HSV domain. But that's kind of cool because that gives us the ability to pull out the 3 HSVs down here. So basically, of course, you have to make that a global, the MHSV, you have to make global. And you come down here and you actually, there's only 1 pixel at 0, 0, or 1 element in the array. And you can pull out the 3 colors of the array. And basically what I'm doing is assigning whatever the pixel color was, I'm going -15 for the min and +15 for the max. And oh yeah, this constrain in Arduino, we have a constrain function, and I searched around to see if Python had something similar, but they didn't. So I actually created a constrain function up here, just a small function, do the same thing that the Arduino does. You give it a value and a min value and a max value, and it's going to return something that's in between the two, or at the min or max. It's not going to be out of bounds on you. So that made it so I just send these up to a function. So 0 to 179 is the min and max for those, and 0 to 255, wanted to constrain it to that for the S and the V. So basically, I went ±15 for the hue because I figured they wanted to be closer. But when I was playing around with the S and the V, I think they need a bit bigger range. So I went +50 and -50 on both of those. And basically use this data in the same way that the very first one we do, where we're just getting the setting up the upper bounds and the lower bounds and masking it out and doing that. So it actually works pretty good. I was surprised how good this works. So we'll get it running here. So basically you just put a color up and you click on it, and it kind of just picks the color up. That's kind of cool. And then of course, since we're in a loop, we can keep on going with it. So this time we'll pick the red. Move the red around a little bit. Turn it around, pick the blue. Now we got the blue. So I'm gonna try something like a brown color, but I don't think it works very well. Let's see. You get a little bit there, but it doesn't bring out much in the brown range. Don't have much else. Here's a pink. This is an off color too. We'll see how pink works. Pink kind of works okay. Not bad. Anyhow, that's my homework for this week. Sorry it took so long. Want to thank Paul for all he does and look forward to more lessons.